Welcome to 20-Sided Store here in Brooklyn, New York. My name is Lauren Belanco, and you are watching Going Local NYC.
So hey guys, this is Daniel and welcome to this episode of Going Local NYC. And on today's episode, we're in 20-Sided Store in Williamsburg with Lauren, who is the owner?
Yep.
Awesome, yeah. So how did this store get started? Because this year marks the 10-year anniversary of the opening of the store, so...
That's right. I know, it's so exciting, right?
Yeah.
10 years of 20-Sided. Can you believe it? Like, it's totally crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it just started off as just, kind of an idea, and it just sort of grew and grew and grew, and now we are a fully fledged event space, retail store. We're doing live streaming. We've got a ton of stuff going on. But yeah, it started off, we were mostly running events, and we thought it was just going to be a thing where, at night we would, we'd still work our day jobs, and then at night we would come and we'd host magic tournaments, and eventually we started doing some Dungeons and Dragons. All of a sudden, there was more demand for the retail and for the board games, for people who wanted puzzles and all kinds of stuff. Expanded the store. When we first opened the store, it was only half of this space.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very small. It was just this, it was basically like right here where I'm standing, marked kind of where that half of the building was, and this was a different storefront on this side.
Yeah.
And so about I think after the first 2 years, we knocked down this wall and opened up the whole space and took over both leases.
Yeah.
And so then that sort of provided us to be able to do what we're doing now.
Why specifically Williamsburg back in 2011?
Well, so I've been living here since 1999, right next door. Luis, was running tournaments at a co-working space.
And is Luis your...
Luis is my partner and
cool.
co-owner of 20-Sided Store.
Okay.
So we both own the store together. And he's really the visionary behind, he's the one who was playing Magic the Gathering. He's the one who was running Magic the Gathering tournaments with his friend Alice. Yeah. And the two of them were setting up every Friday night Magic over at the Change You Want to See gallery, which used to be on Havemeyer. It's no longer there, but they were sort of this activist gallery space and co-working space, and Luis was a programmer at the time, so he was working out of the co-working space, and then on Friday nights they would let him take over the space so Alice and him could run Magic tournaments, because at the time there were no other gaming stores in this area of Brooklyn. The only one was King's Games, which is down by Coney Island. So, this area up here, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, was pretty underserved. So there was kind of a large gap where there wasn't anything happening. And then it was just a morning. I was on my way to a photo shoot at 6 a.m. Wow. And this half of the space used to be an art gallery. And I was walking by, and a friend of mine who was a realtor at the time, and he's standing out front my apartment in a full suit at 6 a.m. And I'm like, what are you doing here, And he's like, oh, you're going to have new neighbors. I'm showing this space. And I was like, Jeremy, I'm like, Luis has been looking for a space, a permanent space to run the Magic tournaments. And he's like, oh, I forgot, He's like, okay, hold on, I'm going to get rid of these guys, and we're going to talk tonight. 2 weeks later, literally, the store was open. I mean, we had no time. It was kind of like, okay, you got it. If you want it, you have to take it now. Mm-hmm. And Luis and I was like, okay, here's all this money that I had put aside to do post-production on a film I was working on. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I could invest that into your business. It was never something that I thought that I would be totally invested in.
Yeah.
But it's been, it's been amazing. My creative work had just went from, in my photography, I always did a lot of narratives and storytelling. And so being able to move that into Dungeons and Dragons, and now we're creating our own science fantasy world, and we're creating products around that. I've published several adventure modules already, just kind of one-offs. We've worked with Wizards of the Coast to produce one with Todd James. Yeah, I don't have it. Those are out of print. But I'm going to try to get all of that stuff reprinted soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And at least have PDFs available.
Yeah.
But we also worked with Jupiter Disco, and we did an adventure called Salt and Lake. So when we do the tour in a bit, I'll show it to you. And we've done a bunch of other ones that were just like zine style RPGs. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of those back in print. And then all of the Miro stuff is kind of what we've been focusing on during COVID. So sort of, yeah, I would say like all of my creativity from being a visual medium kind of went into sort of this writing medium. And it's really great now to kind of see with doing the Twitch and the live streams and kind of bringing all of this around full circle and having like my two worlds kind of come together. And Luis has been, you know, definitely on the back end creating all kinds of stuff that just make it so, you know, everything just runs super smoothly and which allows me that space to now be able to kind of step away and work on some more of this creative work a bit.
How does it feel to kind of like see, I guess, nerd culture in like the biggest general self kind of become mainstream?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's great. I feel like, you know, a lot of the growth in the industry kind of happened with the growth of our store. So it's sort of like we're all growing together, and I feel really good about being a big part of that growth and being able to really mold and shape that growth. And really be able to put my influence on creating welcoming environments. If you're going to play with us, you're looking to meet people, you're looking to learn how to do it, and you're looking for guidance on how to be better at it. I think, you know, every single one of our staff, when you walk into the store, you're immediately greeted. And I think we try to let that barrier down immediately. Like, hey, let us know if you know, want a tour of the store. Let us know if you want some suggestions, or, you know, what's the situation that you want to provide for your gaming experience. We'll find and recommend to you something that, based on what you're telling us, we think is going to be perfect for you. Because, you know, our motto is bringing people together. But with COVID, it's been the one time during like a crisis that we've had to be like, oh, actually, just come together, but at a distance. You know what I mean? So, you know, we got the Discord community going, where everybody can intermingle there. You know, it's kind of the start of some new things happening virtually. We're able to reach people all over the country now that we're doing shipping. So if you live somewhere and you don't have a local game store, well, now we can be your local game store, even though we're in New York and you're in, you know, Ohio somewhere. So it's really cool. It's really cool to, I don't think I would have ever thought about doing a Twitch channel, and I feel like now, you know, just the outreach and being able to really kind of spread out. So this year we're planning on really, you know, hopefully, you know, getting things, you know, ramped up a bit. Because at first I was like, well, this is just a temporary thing, just to kind of move our events online, do them virtually because we can't do them in the store. But now I think that we can do both. You know, I think that at some point when we go back to in-person events, we can still be doing the virtual events. We're going to still be offering shipping, and hopefully we can just keep adding on to that. Like, I'm in the business of teaching people how to play games and bringing communities together. We're your third home or your second home. You know, where you know, if you want to, you know, so many people, even now during COVID, if like I just moved to New York and they're kind of grounding themselves, you know, they come in here and they're like, I want to be part of a community. I want to make friends. It's like, great, get on our Discord, you know, introduce yourself, and, you know, we'll kind of help make those connections. So
yeah, I mean, you guys are doing a great thing, and I'm like looking forward to see what you guys do next.
Thanks.
Yeah, so let's get into that
let's
tour
get
now.
into the tour. Let's do it. Kind of what I like to call just like a good range of games that are easy to learn, fast to play, super fun. We got a bunch of 2 players over here. If we kind of turn this way a little bit, we have a bunch of our games that are great party games, also little pocket games. Most of these right now are great for smaller groups, so super fun. We've got the Networks, which is one of my all-time favorite board game designers, Gil Hova. And the Networks is where you are the owner of a network television company, and you're trying to, you know, get your casts and your models and get the best time slots and all that really cool stuff. So super fun.
Have a guest?
Oh, Johnny. Hi, we're shooting. This is Johnny. We'll let her get settled in.
Yeah,
but
she leaves.
She's a fantastic asset to the 20-sided store.
Sorry, me being early.
Yeah. No problem. Maybe we'll get Johnny on to do a little bit of a tour. Do you want to just pause?
No.
Okay, we can keep going. Okay, cool.
No problem.
And then as we kind of come through here, we have a lot of we start to get into a little bit more strategy. We got a lot of mystery investigation stuff right now. The exit games and the unlock games are kind of like escape rooms. We've got the new Adventure Zone game, which is super cool. Back to the Future, a brand new game, Obscurio, and Tammany Hall, which I'm super stoked about. So yeah, lots of cool games. Mansions of Madness, where is it? One of my favorites. I play that one all the time. And then we kind of come over here to our Marvel Champions. So for our Marvel fans, we've got a nice I think it's not collectible, it's like a deck builder. Lots of kind of cool stuff going on there. All of our Magic stuff. We've got Strixhaven, the new set. So I'm dating this video for you all. But yeah, that's gonna be super awesome. And then we got some nice family-friendly games. Cantrip candles. These candles, hand poured in California. Like, I can smell them through the mask. I have people who are like, I just kind of set these candles out on my table. I don't even light them. They're so amazing. And each one is meant to inspire your D&D setting. So this one's smoke, red wine, and aged leather. We've also got the library, which is parchment, aged wood, and leather. We've also got the brine water tides, which has kelp and ozone, salt water, and cedar wood. The coffee shop, oh my gosh, this just wakes you up in the morning.
David would love that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and then the Fig Farmhouse. This is kind of like this is what I want the 20-sided stores branded smell to be. And then the baker, oh my god, this literally just smells like fresh baked bread. This is the one that somebody's like, I just keep it open in my kitchen. Yeah. So just every day it just smells like fresh baked bread. So those candles are great. We just got a big restocking on those. Dice. Who doesn't love dice? We've got tons and tons and tons of dice. And more dice on the way. There's big restocks of dice coming in. These are all the miniatures that I've painted. So we do mini painting on Fridays on Twitch. You can paint along. So these are a bunch of the ones we've done for the mini paint-alongs. And we've got all the painting supplies here, which is really cool. Over here, let me get the light on. So over here we have some of our classic games, like the Best Chess Set Ever and Hive, and Punderdome, which is this is a little bit more of a party game, but I kind of put it with sort of the word games. But Punderdome is a father-daughter duo that started off doing events around the city, and now they've published a game, so that's really cool. We also have all of our tarot decks, the animal medicine decks. This is a good friend of mine, Sunny, and Sunny is an amazing artist and musician. She hand-painted every single one of the cards on really large wooden slabs. And then I photographed them for her, actually, and she now has published this deck, and it's so beautiful and inspiring, and you just get this wisdom of these spirit animals, and it's highly recommend it. Really, really amazing. Plus a bunch of other local indie game designers. So Dead Friend is a 2-player RPG that you play with a set of tarot cards, which is super fun. Parsley is kind of like the old school video games where you have a command line, and you kind of move to this room, and your exits are this, that, or the other thing. You can play solo, you can play with a large group, super fun. So then we kind of turned our gameplay space area into a library of sorts. So let's turn on more lights for us, get the mood going here. Well, we've got our whole D&D section. We've got the new Curse of Strahd stuff that's been coming out. Some of the alt art covers of stuff. Candlekeep Mysteries. all the starter sets, which is super cool. We've got a ton of these like indie zines over here. I mentioned earlier the one that I wrote, which is Salt and Lake. So that's this adventure, which is super fun. And you know, there's also some recipes in here for some drinks by Jupiter Disco. So if you want to make some fancy cocktails for your game night, you can do that. Also, Borough Keep is another local indie zine made by one of our own Dungeon Masters, Richard Ruin, and designed by Liza Cartwright. And there are, gosh, a ton of guest writers who have also been part of the 20-Side Store, and they are featured in this adventure zine as well. Gosh, what else can I show you? One of the big things that we've been working on is kind of getting some of these really unique indie zines, these RPG zines in, which I'm really excited about. You know, something that's very unique and you can't really get anywhere else. So these, the ones that we're writing ourselves, the ones from, you know, our friends and people that have been with the 20-Sided Store for a long time. You know, but I love having all of the classics and the new cyberpunk overlap, and we can create a nice variety. Like I said, with the small space, you have to curate everything, you know. So we like to have a lot of stuff that is by independent game designers, but also kind of the staples and the things that that everybody looks for. The Quiet Year is another really great RPG. Alice is Missing is a new one that the artwork is just gorgeous and I'm really excited about. We've got a comic book artist, Bill Roundy, who definitely makes a bunch of fun zines for us. This one is like, it has all these like drink recipes and stuff in it as well. So we put it over here by the Dungeons and Dragons Heroes Feast official cookbook. So, you know, we've got an arrangement of stuff. I love the World Builders Journal from D&D. It gives you these like daily prompts. Describe the enemies you must defend this mysterious being from. Who are they? Why do they want to capture this entity? Or make a note of the next animal you see. Imagine a character who would be in the personification of that animal. Create that character. Go. You've got one page to do it on, right? So a lot of really great writing prompts for writers. All kinds of stuff. You know, we've got little puzzle books for people who are, you know, looking to just kind of play games solo. But other than that, I would say that, you know, we play the games, we try the games out, we open them up, so we're checking them for quality, we're checking them for, you know, replayability, and you know, if I find that if myself or my staff, if they like a game, if we like a game, if we have played a game and we enjoy the game, that's the game that our customers want. You know, they come in here and you can tell them about every game under the sun, but they still want to go home with the one that you like, you know, which is the one that you're interested in. So I guess that's why you're asking me that question, of which game do I like? Well, yeah, I think I have a favorite game for different situations, you know. So like I said, if I want my after dinner game, I might go with Sushi Go, you know, because I can play this game quick. I can teach it to almost anybody. It's got great strategy and replayability that keeps me going. If I want a party game, I'm gonna go with like Just One or Codenames or, you know, Dixit, pretty much any of the games over there. I just can't pick one. I love them all. But you know, really it's about what's the best game for you. So, you know, I think that if you come and see us, we're gonna make sure that you go home with exactly the game that you're looking for, and try our best to meet your expectations or exceed them on what you go home with. So I feel pretty confident that we have a game in the store for every situation, and I can pretty much stand by almost every game that we carry here. So